Like we found let me get closer.
Yo, what's up? Okay, so it's probably gonna be really weird, awkward video, but I just kind of want to make this as I guess a progress video, so that I can look back on this in the future and be like, whoa, okay, that's where I started, you know, kind of just want to go brief history of what I've done. What's the date today? 15. Yeah, I turned 20 in 6 days, so, you know, keep it as a kind of progress video for the future. So let's get into it. I want to start off, I've got a script written down on here that I'm kind of going to be following. So let's start off, I want to start off back in 2016. Now at this time, I was in school. It was a pretty cool school, it was a very different school, and they definitely pushed the kids in the school to pursue their goals, which was pretty awesome. But obviously, one school can't change the whole schooling system. So they obviously still had year 12 VCE, which you had to go through to get your ATAR score to go to university. So I was at the time going through year 12, and everyone was kind of around me just like, yo, you need to get a year 12 pass, man. And I was just not interested at all. I was like, this shit isn't for me, man. I was not enjoying my time there at all. And I knew that I didn't want to go to uni afterwards, so the point of year 12 to me was just why? Why am I here? So anyway, uni is for me, uni is definitely glorified, man. Success is defined by a uni degree and getting a job after uni. I'm not trying to attack university, because I understand a doctor needs to go to university to learn the right skills to be a doctor, but for the people who have bigger dreams and bigger goals and they don't want to pursue one of those professional pathways, I think university is just overglorified for those people. There's so many more options for those people to get them to the point that they want to get in life. But uni is definitely overglorified in my opinion. I'm not attacking anyone in any way. If you go to university, that's completely fine. But yeah, just my opinion. We're all entitled to our opinions. That's another topic for another video. So I'm going to continue. Halfway through year 12, I'm just overloaded with the feeling of fuck, I'm wasting my time. I did not want to be there at all. I felt massively like I was wasting my time. And at that time, I'd been doing parkour and free running for about 2 years, and that was kind of a huge outlet, huge part of my life at that point. It was a huge outlet for me, all the emotions I was experiencing, growing up, going through puberty, being a teenager, that kind of shit. It was just a really good outlet for me, man. I'd just go down to the park, throw my body around, on days in school, I'd even wag classes just to flip around the school. It's pretty funny. Everyone at the school knew me as the flipping kid. But yeah, that was a huge part of me, and it just let all that stress out, So anyway, at that time, I was also working a job at Coles. Coles is a big supermarket. I was working in the deli, serving all the meats and shit, and worked in fresh produce a little bit. But yeah, I was on a wage of about $15 an hour, which was, pretty average for my age of 15. But anyway, so doing that job, I ended up dropping out of year 12 and just working at Coles for a while, but I couldn't end up getting enough hours, so I started applying for more jobs, and I ended up getting a signwriting apprenticeship. And that was pretty cool, honestly, that was pretty cool, but just what sucked was the hours and the pay. I was working 7 in the morning till 3:30 in the afternoon, which is almost a 9-hour day, for 5 days a week, and I was only getting $12 an hour. So you can imagine seeing after that whole massive many hours of work, getting paid $400 at the end of the week and being whoa, shit, that's hardly anything for all that work I've done, man. But yeah, honestly, pretty cool job. We did a lot of stuff neon signs, light boxes, vehicle wraps, heaps of shop front signage. And we did, it was just me and my boss, so there was no other employees, so I kind of got lonely working there, but it was pretty cool. We did police cars and the Coles trucks as well, the Coles delivery trucks, we did all of them. There was so many of them every single week. We'd be at the manufacturing where they make all the trucks, and we'd be putting up the Coles signage on all the trucks every single week. It would be crazy amounts of trucks, 5 to 10 trucks, That was my apprenticeship, And in my free time, I'd just be like, you know, free time I'd be out filming parkour videos because, you know, that's what I enjoyed doing at the time. And, you know, being stupid teenagers, we did a lot of stupid shit, so I climbed a lot of roofs and that kind of shit, but it was good fun, you know. Anyway, speaking of roofs, I've got to tell you this story about when I got arrested. So, me and my mate, we decided to climb this construction site on South Bank, and so we went up the stairs a little bit, and then it was like blocked off, but there was like this tiniest gap at the bottom of the gate to get in and like into the construction site. So anyway, we managed to squeeze through this tiny gap. It's like fucking probably this big, like tiniest gap ever, and we managed to squeeze through, get into this construction site. We climb up the stairs. We're like, yeah, this is sick. Like, get to the rooftop bit, and we're like, oh, there's a crane. So we're like, oh, why don't we climb the crane? So we climbed this crane, you know, got to the top bit, took some pictures and shit. It was pretty sick, to be honest. Like, the view was fucking amazing. Like, it was awesome. But anyway, then we noticed out of the corner of our eye, at the bottom of the street, down the bottom near the construction site, there was fire trucks pulling up. There was like 3 or 4 fire trucks just pulling up on the sidewalk. And we were like, what the fuck? Like, why is there that many fire trucks? There must be a fire nearby or some shit. And anyway, so then we're like, you know, slowly make our way down, because we're like, yeah, whatever, like, we're done, have fun. We took some photos, been videoing the whole thing. So we get down, screw through the bottom of the gap again, and we get down to the bottom. Now there's 2 exits, so there's one exit that goes out to the South Bank walkway, like where all just the big walkway where there's no like cars or anything. And then there's another exit that goes out to the road where all the fire trucks are. And I'm like to my mate, yo, we should go out the South Bank exit, you know? And he's like, no, it's just fire trucks, we'll walk past it, we'll park them. So we end up walking out that door, walk out, there's like 4 or 5 fire trucks and like 3 or 4 cop cars as well that we did not see. And yeah, we end up getting stopped by the police, like, and they ask us, yo, were you up on the roof? And we're like, you know, how could we say no? So we end up getting, you know, handcuffed, thrown in the back of a police car, and then driven to the station. So Mum definitely wasn't too happy with that, but you know, good experience, and you know, I don't regret it at all, because you know, I learned from my mistakes, and I probably won't do that again. So it was pretty cool. So anyway, I get off with a 5-year warning for that. Like, you know, that's it. Not like a criminal conviction or anything for trespassing, which is pretty good. So, you know, I'm completely fine with my future. And anyway, I continue my apprenticeship, but I'm bored as fuck, man. Like, dude, like working those hours was so draining. Like, I don't know how people do it. Like all the labor jobs and like trades and stuff. Like, it's just such draining work. Like working those long hours, doing that all, you know, heavy duty lifting and shit like that. Like, I just couldn't do it, man. And only getting $12 an hour, like, it was insane to me. Like, how little I was getting paid for all the work I was doing. So anyway, I lasted over a year in that job, and I couldn't see myself working those hours, man. So I left it, and you know, I think I'd saved up around like $6,000 or $7,000. And over the next 3 months, like, I pretty much just fucking blew it, man. Like, mainly going to the city every day, filming videos, like spending $40 a day on food, you know, it was crazy. So, you know, that money just went, and I wish I knew about investing like back then. Like, I could have definitely invested that. That would have been a good little startup fund to invest into something. So anyway, it gets to November, I've spent all my money, I'm pretty much broke, and I'm like, damn, what am I gonna do with my life? Like, Mum's telling me to look for more jobs and shit, and I'm just like, I don't want to do that, man. I don't want to work for someone anymore. I have no clue what I'm going to do. So, as if some kind of miracle, my best mate, who we used to flip together all the time, like, we'd just do everything together, and he calls me up, or texts me or something, and he's like, yo, this guy wants us to come join his, like, street performing crew, or something like that. And at the time, I was like, what the fuck's that? Like, what do you mean? So anyway, we go into the city to meet this guy, and we end up doing like some street performances in front of the crowds along South Bank. And it was pretty cool. Like, he got us to, you know, do some flips in the show, and everyone would like clap and cheer, and there'd be like this huge crowd around us, and we were like loving it. We were like, yeah, like, this is so much attention, you know, we loved it. But yeah, it gets to the end of the day, and we did like 3 or 4 shows, and it gets to the end of the day, and this guy's like, "Yo, good job, guys," and he hands us both $40, and I'm just like, "What the fuck, $40?" Like at this point, I didn't even expect to get paid like for doing this. Like I was doing it just because I love to flip. Like that was what I enjoyed doing, and like doing it in front of crowds, like seeing people clap, cheer, and smile, and actually love watching what we're doing. Like that was enough for me, Like I didn't expect to get paid, but he hands us this $40, man, and like, oh, my eyes lit up, man. Like it was crazy. He's like, "Yeah, good job, boys." Hands us $40. He's like, "I'm gonna go now." So he heads off. Me and my mate were just like, "What the fuck? 40? We made $40 for flipping." We're like going off our heads. It was funny as. But yeah, I just remember that moment, like just being like, "Whoa, there's more ways to make money than just a job," and like doing something you love. Like I never expected that, man. So anyway, like this was like a really turning point in my life, because I was like broke, like real broke, man. And getting that $40 just for doing flips, like it was insane. So us three, so we go out like every weekend and perform in front of crowds, and we ended up having another guy join our crew, which was he was a little kind of breakdancer guy, and then me and my mate would do flips, and the other guy would do flips as well. So it'd be like a kind of flipping breakdancing crew. Street performance. We had a bit of comedy in there and all that, but it was really cool and really fun. Yeah, so we'd make like anywhere between $200 $400 each in a weekend, which was pretty good, because I was like, that's almost my some weeks I would make the wage that I would be making from working the 5-day-a-week apprenticeship job, and like that just blew my mind. Like if I can make money doing flips, like how else could I make money, without a job? Like I could get paid more than that job and be doing something I love. And oh man, it was just insane. Like I just remember being so happy that this time in my life was pretty good, like every weekend was like so good. And I had my whole week free, I worked the 3 days on the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, get paid this pretty much the same wage as my apprenticeship, and I'd have the whole week free. Monday to Thursday, I'd have completely free to do whatever I wanted. Like that just blew my mind that I could actually do that. So, yeah, so we did this, ended up doing this for, a couple months. Months went by, and, me and my friend built up the confidence to do the final stunt of the show, which is, you flip over 4 to 6 people. Obviously, they're like bent over. But yeah, we ended up building up the courage to do that final stunt. So, I still remember the first time I did it. Oh, it was crazy, man. It was a night show at night, and I ended up doing the flip over I think it was 4 or 5 people, and I ended up like I was scared shitless. So I put way too much energy into this. Like I overshot it like crazy. Like I landed like an extra 4 people. It was insane. But yeah, after that, like I was just like, whoa, I felt so good, because I was like more involved with the show. But anyway, yeah, so we continue doing that, getting a good groove where like, just we'd alternate doing the final flip, and it'd be like a good way to share out the energy we used during the show. Yeah, so anyway, we ended up realizing, like me and my mate were like, hang on, if we could do this ourselves, we could make a lot more money, because this guy was paying us, we weren't like splitting it. So he was paying us like kind of a wage kind of thing. Me and my mate were like, hang on, if we took the time and the energy to go and learn our own show and go perform by ourselves, like we could be making a lot more money. So that's pretty much what we did. We bought a speaker from JB Hi-Fi, I believe for $500. And then at the time there was a thing called the Adelaide Fringe, which is like a big, huge festival in Adelaide, where they have a lot of buskers come in and whatnot. So we head up to the Adelaide Fringe, and we're kind of just, trying to learn how to do our own show up there. Like, we're fucking nervous as shit. But we end up getting in kind of a good groove. And yeah, like, we were making a lot more money. We were right. We were like, yo, there's a lot more money to be made in this. So we were making like anywhere from $800 to $1,200 a weekend. So we were like, damn, we've like, doubled, even tripled our pay that we used to get on the weekends. So this was crazy, we continued doing shows, we went back to Melbourne, continued doing shows, and I believe our best day ever was Easter Friday in Melbourne. We made $1,400, which was just insane, man. And yeah, I have a video, like I'll probably put the video up somewhere here for you to see, but it's a video of the coin bag that we had from like, cause we get donations for the shows, and the coin bag was so fucking heavy. Like I had it around my waist and it was like pulling my pants down. Like it was so heavy. But anyway, like as good as performing was, like I really enjoyed it. But when it came to winter, it was rough, man. Like no one wanted to stop and watch shows then. It was pretty rough, and the rain made it even worse. Like it's a no-go. But we still made it happen. We pushed through, it, and yeah, I don't really remember exactly what happened, but we kind of stopped performing for a while. It was like quite a while, like a few months. We just stopped performing. Like I can't remember what happened exactly, but me and my mate just stopped performing, and there was no one else performing. I think it must have been winter. It must have been winter why we stopped. But eventually I had the courage to get back into it, but my mate didn't really want to get back into it, so I got back into it myself. And it felt like I was starting from number one again. It felt like I was starting from scratch again. Like I'd done the show thousands of times with people, but suddenly like coming out by yourself just makes it so much more daunting, And I think that's a very good life lesson, like even if you're doing something that you've done before and it still scares you, like you still just gotta do it. Like you can't let the fear stop you from doing it a different way, you just gotta push through like you have the previous times. And I think that's a very strong lesson. Like if anyone, you just need to push through. That's really the main thing. But anyway, I start up my own show. I'm nervous as shit to start, but I get into it, and it really taught me and showed me like the real meaning of rejection, though. Because like when I was starting by myself, there was no one wanting to watch my show, man. Like there was no one. There would be so many people walking past, and no one would stop. I like felt like giving up, but I kept trying, and that made me stronger and stronger, and I got better and better at the show. And what made it worth it was those few people who did stop and watch me, and that I could make laugh and smile, because that meant more than the money to me, man. Because just seeing people enjoy what I was doing and me enjoy what I was doing, like, oh dude, I can't explain it. Like it was such a good feeling. But anyway, I got up to a point where I was making about $1,000 every weekend, and when it was school holidays, I'd be out all throughout the week. So Monday to Saturday, huge work day. And I lived like this quite sustainably, to be honest. I did some gymnastics coaching on the side, and only 2 days a week. But I did this up until April 2019. Like it was a pretty sustainable way for me to live. But April 2019, it's the time that shit hit the fan. To be honest, all good things come to an end, as they say. But I'm not going to go into it too deeply, but I'll probably pop a video up somewhere. But basically what happened was I was just, practicing training, doing some flips, and I ended up tearing my ACL. So I have to go get surgery, and puts me out of action for about 10 months, which is, insane. And that was about, a couple months ago, 4 months ago. Now, after that happened, I was like, dude, I got into like deep depression, man. That first month, just being at home, stuck at home, doing nothing, sitting on the couch, not even being able to walk, like, dude, it was so scary, like, I got into a really bad phase then, but, and then, my mental health was just declining like crazy. But to make things worse, a few days like after I'd been sitting on the couch doing fuck all, I got this offer to go to Taiwan, all expenses paid, to perform at one of their festivals, plus €1,000. And that's like, 1,600 Australian dollars. And, I got that offer and I had to politely decline. I was like, damn, I'm missing out on all these opportunities. Like, I was depressed as fuck, man. Like, I was desperately trying to hold myself together and distract myself. And that kind of leads me up to where I am today, In May, I took a deep dive into learning all the skills of like kind of business, and I've invested over $15,000 in course materials and learning. So that's kind of where I'm at now. I'm just trying to turn this knowledge into action and actually produce those results for myself so that I don't feel so bad about investing all that money. Anyway, I'm gonna end the video there. Thank you for watching if you did. As I said, this is kind of more of like a progress video than anything. I'll definitely be posting more in the future, and it's gonna be, around topics I enjoy talking about. So like, some business stuff, maybe some psychology and, human development kind of stuff, self-improvement. So yeah, I look forward to making those videos, and yeah, hope you enjoyed watching this video about me. Peace.